How's it going, everybody? Welcome back. Another great performance by Carlos Rodon last night. He is now 8-2 on the season, and man, was he pumped up in his post-game interview.
Here's the deal. I'm the best there is, plain and simple. I mean, I wake up in the morning, I piss excellence.
What's going on, Derek? Just wanted to say, I'm sure you noticed as well, but man, Austin Wells just looks ice cold up at bat. Unfortunately, he used to be a part of like this cool little club of people that were actually walking more than striking out, which in today's day and age is insane with all the strikeouts that happen. But I'm pretty sure since they announced that stat, he's blown by in strikeouts and really hasn't. He might not have had a walk since they actually announced that stat. But I just wanted to see if anyone else has noticed that. He's still been playing really good defense, and I guess that's really truly what counts. But man, I'd like to see this kid start hitting. He's young, he's got a lot of potential, and he's got the bat-to-ball skill. We'd just like to see it kind of see some shots drop.
I still believe in the long-term potential for Austin Wells. As you said, he's done a nice job as a catcher. He's in the 91st percentile of framing. His pop time is above average. His blocks are above average. But he's not off to the offensive start that we expected. And part of that is that when you're called up as a young player, you need regular at-bats. You really got to get consistent at-bats to get good and comfortable against major league pitching. But as the backup catcher, he's just not getting those kind of reps. That's why I keep saying they're not going to bring up Dominguez to be the fourth outfielder. As a young player, it's important to play every single day. Now, will Jose Trevino stay healthy? Maybe, maybe not. He has had difficulty staying healthy the last couple of years. And if he goes down, I think Austin Wells will get more regular at-bats. And at that point, I think you'll see him hit more. But for the moment, he's stuck in a platoon situation, and it can be very, very difficult to get into any kind of a rhythm when you're a platoon player. So, maybe the Yankees are okay with this. Maybe they're saying to themselves, hey, as long as we're getting great defensive production from Austin Wells, we'll take it. They value defense above offense from that position. But yeah, you'd like to get a little bit more offense from a guy who was seen as a potential deadly left-handed bat when the Yankees drafted him.
Hey, Derek, it's Matt. Big W tonight against Minnesota. I was at the game yesterday, and two fans behind me had dog masks on, and they were barking when Doogie made his plate appearance. And I got to tell you, the level of enthusiasm that is demonstrated with the fans, and also that's likely occurring in the clubhouse. I mean, I haven't seen anything like this. We got to enjoy the ride while it lasts, because this .698 winning percentage won't carry over to the end of the year.
Doogie has definitely injected some of that energy into the clubhouse. You can just feel it emanating through your TV screen. But so far this year, I think his biggest value has been what he's brought defensively. I mentioned it on the show last night. The Yankees have been content to play guys out of position for a while now, and we've been saying, get a real left fielder. Get real outfielders out there. And finally, we got a real left fielder, and he is leading the league in defensive runs saved. He has done a nice job offensively, although he's not tearing the cover off the ball. He's got a 740 OPS, which is more than respectable. And there's two other things that I think he brings that are phenomenal. One, he's very difficult to strike out. He's in the 95th percentile in strikeout percentage in Major League Baseball. And two, he's got that correct kind of edge. We talked last night about Donaldson and how he had this kind of like reputation as having an edge, but really he was just a jerk. I think Verdugo is actually a guy who's a ball player. He's a gamer. He's got that gamer type of edge. And I think that's something the Yankees have needed for a while. A steady left-handed bat who plays defense, who's a gamer. I don't think he's going to be back with the Yankees next season because of the whole contract thing with Juan Soto. And they got Dominguez and Jones coming up. And it just makes very little sense to allocate that much money to a veteran guy who's going to be 29 years old and signing him into his 30s when you've got some of these young guys coming up. But what we're getting from him right now will go down in Yankees history, especially if they win a chip.
Okay, so, yeah, this is MJ. You're right, Derek. he didn't win. Gleyber didn't win Rookie of the Year, but you know what I mean. Like him and what's the other guy, Andujar, they were really the Rookies of the Year, battling it out. But they had to give it to Ohtani because he played two positions. You know, but the point is, yeah, Gleyber, when he came up, you were excited, I was excited, everybody was excited, right? So he's got that in him. And yes, he's a terrible base runner. But the point of my other message was, hey, they're doing all this without the guy that they had to bat third last year in the lineup. And last year, we weren't complaining. We were like, at least Gleyber's hitting. Everybody else sucks, you know. So that was all I'm saying is, like, batting DJ Knight, think about, like, he didn't have spring training like Judge had. If he comes around and Gleyber comes around, then you got something in the 6, 7, 8, 9 positions, you know.
Appreciate the call. Yeah, DJ and Gleyber are two guys that the Yankees were counting on. Now, I don't know how much they should count on DJ offensively because he is getting a little bit older. The first half of last season was not the greatest, and he's had a lot of injuries, and that can take its toll on a guy his age. I still think he's a good contact guy. Like, he's not going to strike out a lot, but he's not driving the ball the way he used to because a lot of that power gets generated from the ground up, right? And if you don't have your feet under you, and he's had a lot of foot injuries, that can really cut down on your power and your ability to drive the baseball. I'm hopeful that DJ comes around, but I'm a little bit more skeptical with him than I am with Gleyber. Offensively, I think Gleyber Torres will have some hot months. There's still a long way to go this year, and it seems like every year he has at least one or two stretches where you can't get him out for 2 or 3 weeks, and I think that's coming. He definitely put some pressure on himself at the beginning of this season. He got hit in the hand. Things just didn't go his way early on. But he's been swinging the bat a little bit better lately. Last night he got robbed of an extra base hit. He also had a ground rule double, and they were both hit to right field. And that's always a good sign for Gleyber Torres. When he's hitting the ball to right field, he's just a much better hitter because he's not exploding through those hips and driving, everything towards left field and pulling off of that outside pitch. So I want to see Gleyber continue to hit the ball to right, and I think he'll come around.
Hey, you guys talking about, like, upgrading at first and third. I agree. There's two things that you could think about. I mean, playing first base is not the hardest thing in the world. You could also put the Martian in the training programs to play first base. But also, going forward, with third base, you've got Birdie, who was playing great baseball until he got injured.
All right, so first let's talk about the Martian. They're not going to move him to first base. He's a natural outfielder. Everybody wants to get his bat in the lineup. I get it. But it'll be in the lineup when the rosters expand. They're not going to call him up. They're not going to put him at first base. They're not going to put him at second base. He's an outfielder. He's probably the Yankees' future left fielder. And so they're not going to move him off of that spot. Now, in terms of John Birdie, he's a guy who relies on his speed a lot, and he's had 2 lower body injuries so far this season. So that's something to keep an eye on. He's in his mid-30s. This isn't a guy who's 25 years old. He's at the point in his career where he's going to start having more and more injuries, and in limited playing time, he's gotten injured twice. So I think the Yankees need to be careful with him. I think he's going to be out a bit. I think they want to get him back into some kind of training program that he can, get himself reliably healthy going forward. And if he's hitting and playing well, I see no reason he can't be the third baseman in the playoffs. He obviously gives you a contact ability. He hit .294 last year. Seems like he was picking up a base hit every day before he got hurt. You're right, he was playing very well, but the health is definitely a concern.
The only thing that, honestly, and again, we're not going to have an all-star at every single position. Every single bullpen arm isn't going to come in and be Josh Hader. Like, we should all know this and be prepared for this. But the bullpen is performing well, but I'm still a little nervous. I'd love to see, how Efros looks when he comes back, how Lou Trevino looks if he's hopefully coming back this year. I don't know, something about Santana, Ferguson, Tonkin.
they've been getting the job done, but it's a little sketchy.
I agree with you. The bullpen is definitely my biggest concern on this team. I think they need at least 1 or 2 more arms in that bullpen and strikeout guys, legitimate major league strikeout guys. And that's why when I was talking with Terrence the other day on the postgame, we were debating, like, how big a prospect would you give up for somebody like Mason Miller? Because he could be a difference maker, you know? Honestly, I would slot somebody like Miller into the 9th inning and then use Clay Holmes in the 8th inning as a setup man. And then you got 7-inning baseball games, baby. And anybody who remembers 96 can tell you that's a nice formula. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I will catch you after the game tonight. Quick word from our sponsor, Odds Jam, and then I'll see you next time. Looking to boost your sports betting game? Meet Odds Jam, the ultimate ally for data-driven wagering. With 260-plus sports books, it's your go-to platform. Here's how it works. Odds Jam's arbitrage tool spots differences in betting lines, letting you lock in risk-free profits. Plus, optimize bets with a positive EV calculator and track profits with a convenient bet tracker. Try it risk-free with a 7-day trial. Use code RECAPS for 35% off your first month. Link is in the description. Bet smart. Bet responsibly with Odds Jam.